And then I just wanted to find my community, wanted to find my Bobcat family, aka my clutter.
Yeah. Your clutter.
That's a group of Bobcats.
That's a group of Bobcats.
You didn't know.
There is a clutter, and there's 3 good words: clutter, kindle, and embarrassment. And
Really?
embarrassment of Bobcats is a bunch of little Bobcat kittens.
Wow.
I don't use that very often because I don't want to make fun of anybody, but. So I'm really excited about having 2 of my friends here. So Kaison Ward and Raven Griffin are here. So thank you guys for joining me on the podcast here. We'll learn more about you guys before we get into what you're doing here. So Kaison, why don't you just tell us a little bit about like where you're from and why you came to Texas State?
Well, K-Dam, thank you for having me.
K-Dam, you're the first one to say K-Dam for the whole podcast. That's awesome.
I love that. I'm from Galveston County, so Galveston, Texas.
Okay.
I love my city. Shout out to the 409.
I did my honeymoon there.
I know, you told me. What brought me to Texas State?
Yeah.
Man, just the community. I came here for Bobcat Day. I seen how tight everybody was. Everybody was so big on once a Bobcat, always a Bobcat.
Yeah.
And, coming from I'm a big family guy myself, so, I wanted to come to where I felt that connection as well. So,
are you oldest, youngest?
I'm the oldest in my family.
Okay, well done. All right, Raven, what about you?
I am from a very tiny town south of Houston called Angleton, Texas. It's like not far from Galveston County, actually. Went to high school there. I did a little bit of community college there also. And then
which community college was it?
I went to Brazosport Community College. And I was trying to, just rack up as many classes as I could before transitioning to a 4-year.
Were you doing that in high school or after high school?
Yes, I started the summer before going into my sophomore year of high school.
That early?
Yes,
I mean, you must have been
early.
14 years old.
Yeah, I was super young. I might have been 15, 16 maybe, but I mean...
I'm not very good at math.
Yeah, whatever age you are, whenever you're a sophomore.
When you get to be, like I'm 62, like everything under 60 is like really young. So,
my parents were very big on one of the kids going to college.
Did they go to college?
No, I'm a first generation student. I'm the youngest of 4 siblings. And none of them went to college. It wasn't really for them. And so college was very important to my parents. So figuring out where I wanted to go was really nerve-wracking, especially with no prior experience of like a big major college. So I toured, and Texas State really caught my eye. It's honestly the campus. Like the campus, I feel like takes everyone's breath away. It really truly is one of the prettiest ones I've ever been to.
I agree. I've been around the world literally, and it is one of the most beautiful campuses here. And also what's interesting, tell me if you feel this way, but sometimes people say, I'm glad my daughter goes to a small school like Texas State because it kind of feels small.
Right.
Like interaction-wise. Like people feel like, you hear people talk about the Bobcat family or whatever. Mm-hmm. It's huge, right? If you're walking from one side of the campus to the other, it can wear you out,
it's a trek,
right?
And
a lot of hills.
A lot of hills.
Hill country. It is the hill country. But it kind of has a small feel to it, especially if you get out of your room your freshman year and you get to know people and so on. Yeah.
Right.
What are you majoring in?
I'm a business marketing major.
Okay. What year are you?
I'm a senior.
Oh, it's almost here.
Yes.
When are you graduating?
I graduate in August,
okay.
So I'm graduating a year early, and I'm actually not ready to leave.
Yeah,
I don't want to.
I get it. I don't want to leave either. What about you, Kaison?
I'm a digital media innovation major, and I graduate in summer 26.
Okay, you still got some time. Just to relax.
I'm soaking it all in.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So we talk about your majors, but I think a lot of people think if you haven't gone to college, you think about professors, teachers, students, and buildings and chalkboards, whatever, and you don't realize there's a whole lot of other things happening there as well, things outside of the classroom that actually, I always tell people you probably take more away from the university of things that happen outside the classroom than happen inside the classroom. So what are you members of any organizations or anything?
A good bunch.
Yeah.
I'll start off. I'm a student coordinator for student involvement and engagement.
Okay.
So I'm a part of the street team for that.
The street team, what does that mean?
So we're all the student involvement and engagement events. You're going to see us in a quad in LBJ Mall on Sewell Park promoting those, making sure they're catered towards students.
Okay.
I also am a part of Black Student Alliance, the Black President's Council, Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, and National Pan-Hellenic Council.
Okay. What about you, Raven?
So
that's a lot, by the way.
Yeah, mine's not that much. Just one. I'm the president of Texas State Bobcat Belles.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. Were you involved in Greek life at all when you came?
No, I was interested. I think I knew I wanted to be a part of something.
Yeah.
I just didn't know where. And Texas State has so many great organizations, and I think it's amazing that you can be involved in so many. But I don't know, Bobcat Belles, they caught my attention and it stuck.
There's a lot of ways of doing this. There are some people who don't do anything, like they just go to school, and that was kind of me. Like I didn't know, because I was a first generation student like you, and I didn't know you should do things. And there was no Greek life at all, so I wasn't tempted by any of that. But there's some people who say, I'm going to do this one thing, and that's going to be my thing. And there's someone like Kaison who's like, I'm involved in like 50 different things, because that's your extroverted personality, yes. Right? So what attracted you to the Belles? Well, first off, what is the Belles?
So Bobcat Belles is a spirit organization at Texas State, and we work hand in hand with the football program just to ensure that there's a successful game day and that the faculty has everything that they need. And so we do different things on game days where we check in the recruits, walk them to the field. We also babysit the coaches' kids. There's a lot of them, yeah. But they're all amazing. They're all really sweet kids, and the wives are very kind, and the coaches are very kind.
We've got a young staff, and so a lot of them have kids that are under 5 years old.
A lot of them, and I think it's just very important that we're doing the best that we can for them, because it just makes everything run so much smoother. And then beyond the football program, we do things in the organization as well for the girls. So they have things like date party and banquet, and it's kind of slowly, it does seem as though there's a lot of similarities in Belles that are similar to sororities. Sure. It's the same structure kind of, and so the girls have a really strong sisterhood outside of the football program also,
because you're not just there to do stuff, you're there to create opportunities for leadership and for professional and personal development and so on.
Right.
Yeah. Well, so did you do it from your freshman year?
Yes.
Because you're like the boss now, right? But it took you a while to get up there.
Yeah, somehow I'm the president. Yeah. I don't know.
Somebody had to do it.
Yeah, so. I don't know how I got here. But I actually have a really, really great officer line. Our vice president is my best friend. And then the rest of the girls are absolutely amazing. I started my freshman year. My fall semester, you have to submit your application and then go through it's like a 3-day interview process. And it's nerve-wracking, but the girls make it so welcoming that you kind of forget you're interviewing when you're in there. And then I was in it my freshman year. My second year, I ran for the public relations chair, and then I did that for a year, and then now I'm in the president's spot.
And actually, it is in some ways like a sorority. Like Beth and I went to like the
the
reveal,
mm-hmm.
and so it felt like a bid day.
It does. I mean, on that day, like the girls find out that they made it, and so they have no idea. I think we had told them like you need to come. We try to do it different every year. Some years, last semester you were there whenever you surprised them. They had no idea. Yeah. And then this semester we did tell them that they
Special
made it,
but
we were like, we might have somebody coming to see you.
That's funny. And Beth loved it because she didn't do anything. Like she had a job. She worked at Pizza Hut and she played piano at a church and never was really involved in this. And so now as an older person who's the chief volunteer at the university, she gets to kind of see a different side of this and be supportive of it as well. So she loved that evening. It was a lot of fun for her.
Yeah,
so
I'm glad she enjoyed it.
Yeah. So what about you, Kaison? So you're pretty active in National Pan-Hellenic. Let's talk about that a little bit.
So I currently serve as the president of the National Pan-Hellenic Council. We are made up of 9 Black Greek-led organizations promoting academic excellence, service, and then just brotherhood, sisterhood, just camaraderie and unity across campus.
And there are 9 organizations, right? So it seems like when I came here, we had, I think maybe 6 or something like that.
Yes,
so
we were sitting at 7 or 8. So actually, we're the first non-historically Black college or university with all 9 in Texas. So we're as just adding on to the legacy of Texas State, just continuing to make history. Our council is growing, and as the school grows, we hope to grow our community as well.
Yeah. So did you join your fraternity as a freshman?
I joined as a sophomore. So
sophomore.
First semester sophomore, right there.
Yeah. So what did you do your freshman year then?
Freshman year, I was a part of Black Student Alliance.
Okay.
I was a freshman coordinator for them, and that just got me, skyrocketed me into all of my leadership positions.
Were you that way in high school, or did you say, I'm going to do something new when I get to Texas State? I'm going to turn it on. I'm going to
not really. In high school, I did theater, and that was my lane. That that your thing, that
Yeah.
was my thing. That's
Yeah.
all I wanted to do. I was at theater rehearsal after school, theater classes and things of that nature.
Were you a
but,
singer?
No, I was an actor.
Actor.
Yeah.
I was about to ask you to give us a few bars.
I could
no?
not right now.
What was your favorite role?
Ooh, okay. And we did Matilda the musical, and I was Rodolfo.
Okay, I thought you were going to say like a tree or something like that.
No. I was Rodolfo, her Matilda's dance teacher, and man, I enjoyed it. I loved it.
And so, did you want to do theater when you came here? Or
I did. I definitely heard Texas A has a top theater program in the nation. So
like top 25 in the world
Yeah.
and top 3 or 4 in the country. Yeah,
Very true,
Unbelievable. Do you go to productions here?
I do.
Okay,
I think the last one I seen was Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah, Romeo and Juliet, really good. Yeah, I think Guys and Dolls is coming up,
Yes.
so it'll be a really good one. What made you think about joining a fraternity in your sophomore year? Because a lot of people do it the freshman year.
Personally, it was service. It was a service for me. It was literally everything I was already doing with my organization. Alpha Phi Alpha was already they were implementing that on campus as well.
Yeah.
And then I again just wanted to find my community, wanted to find my Bobcat family, aka my clutter.
Yeah. Your clutter.
That's a group of Bobcats.
That's a group of Bobcats.
You didn't know.
There is a clutter, and there's 3 good words: clutter, kindle, and embarrassment. And
Really?
embarrassment of Bobcats is a bunch of little Bobcat kittens.
Wow.
I don't use that very often because I don't want to make fun of anybody, but look it up. It's real.
Huh, okay.
You can say next time you say instead of clutter, I was looking for my own embarrassment.
So I like that. Let's do it.
It might be appropriate at some point. So
It might be.
So you're kind of looking. Did you go to like a session where you found out and like there were presentations, or you just like knew somebody and said, I'm going to go with that group?
Yeah, so every semester, so fall and spring semester, we do a Meet the Greeks.
Okay.
So each organization has their own table / room, and you kind of get to tour each table, each room to figure out, just what organization fits the best for you, hear their spill, just basic information that's, available to everybody online, just about your organization.
So Raven, let's come back to you. So you said you kind of like accidentally became the president. It doesn't happen by accident, right? Tell us, what has been like the best part of being a Belle?
A lot of, I think, what my greatest takeaways from Belles surround with is, it's honestly the girls.
Yeah.
At first, I think I gained a lot of maturity in myself throughout my first year or so of Bobcat Belles, because you're learning, you're establishing yourself in a new environment, in a new town, at a new school. And then once I stayed and then moved up to the PR position, I very quickly, you grow in yourself, and then you also are now seeing other people grow, so you're put in a different perspective.
Because you're being nurtured, and all of a sudden you get into leadership, you're the nurturer.
Yes,
right?
You switch.
Yeah.
And that was really, really different for me to see, because I just never thought that I would look at it that way. But then, honestly, I think I feel the most proud whenever I see the girls experiencing growth, and when I see them find their friends amongst the other girls, and I see them hanging out one-on-one. I think that brings me so much joy, because it feels like I'm doing something right.
Yeah.
And also, when we take the girls in, like that amount of excitement, and they're just so happy to be here. It's just nothing but positive energy. You don't get that very often, Part of both you guys' experiences, you're trying to create a subset of the Bobcat community. Like it can feel, I mentioned earlier, like it can feel kind of small in a big place. And the reason it feels small is because you find your people, right? You find, like, how many people are in your fraternity?
My fraternity, we have 13.
13.
Yes.
So, like, you'll never be closer to 13 other men than you'll be with that group, right? How many Belles are there?
We have 80.
80. So that's a lot, right? That's pretty,
Yeah.
But there's a group of people that were in your freshman class that,
Oh, yeah.
like, best friends forever, right?
Even the group of 80, I mean, and during meetings, we usually have roughly around 30 to 40 girls that are active members. And those girls are so tight-knit. Like, everyone talks to everyone. Like, it's a really beautiful thing to see, because it's kind of hard, I think, in college sometimes, finding your people and finding where you belong. And it's nice that they have a warm spot to go to.
I think it's part of your personality as well, because again, being first generation college student, I didn't even know what I didn't know. And I didn't know that there were groups to join, so I just didn't. I'm sure there were groups. I just didn't even know about them.
Well, you don't. You have no idea that there's these things that are out there for you if you've never had any experience in it.
Now, in high school, were you like part of a cool group like the Belles, or?
I wasn't, actually, shockingly so. I was very big into acting and modeling whenever I was in high school.
Look at you, got the two actors
I know.
here. Yeah.
Wow.
And then, I think
You said modeling too?
Yes.
Yeah, me too. I did a lot of modeling.
Did you?
I didn't
Well,
do any
you should.
modeling, no.
Everyone can. I did a lot of that.
I'm in a lot of the before fit photos. Like, this is what you look like before, and then this is what you look like
This
after.
is
So
after.
yeah. So modeling, acting.
Yeah, I did. I was involved in Girl Scouts, but
Oh,
not
yeah.
really anything major, like any group in school.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really step into that until college.
Let's talk about academics for a little bit, because sometimes students are balancing work and student organization. And you do have to go to class at some point. Do you struggle sometimes with trying to balance all that?
Honestly, I think it's about developing your time management skills.
Yeah.
I think it was very hard
It's another
for me.
another superpower, right?
Yes, and it's something you don't know that you have to learn until all of a
Yeah.
sudden you've got to learn it. And then you're like, okay, I got to get it together. And I think I figured it out by trying to just dedicate like one day that I have the least amount of classes. Like that day is going to be for Belle. So anything that needs to get done, anything that I need to do, I'll get that all done that day. And I kind of just have to set out like, okay, this amount of time for this amount of time for this. Because if not, you're going to lose it. Like it's very easy to get jumbled up in everything.
Kaison, now you're in National Pan-Hellenic, but you're also in a fraternity, and then is there something else you're part of as well? That's still part of the Alliance?
Yes.
So that's 3 groups right there.
Yes.
And classes. Do you work somewhere?
I work for student involvement.
Yeah,
so,
so
yes.
that's 4 things now.
Yes.
And do you ever go to class?
I do go to class every day. Monday through Friday, I have class.
Thank you for answering the right way. Yeah, even if it's not true, that's the right answer. Yeah. How many hours are you taking?
I'm taking 13 at the moment.
13 hours. That's a lot.
Wow.
What about you, Raven?
15.
Wow, 15. That's a lot. That's good. That's why you're graduating so quickly.
Yes.
Yeah. So, how do you balance all that, Kaison?
Personally, going ahead when Raven said just time management, but specifically for me, I started writing things down. I have a physical calendar and then my virtual calendar on my phone. So anytime I get an event or a meeting, throw it in my calendar. When I get home, write it down.
Yeah.
Emphasis on write it down because our brains, we forget really easily. So making sure we write something down is really key.
It gets worse. Sometimes I saw this story the other day. Someone said they were back in their bedroom and someone coughed in the living room. They went out there. The pizza guy was there still waiting to get paid. Like they went back to the bedroom looking for their wallet and they forgot the guy was there. Then when you get old, stuff like that happens to you. So I was never a calendar guy until I got, as a faculty member, just kind of remembered stuff, and I had Post-it notes all over the place. Super disorganized, but having your phone and having the calendar there, if I miss something, it's because it didn't get in my calendar somewhere. Because I just kind of live off that, and I go minute by minute. I know where I'm supposed to be, and sometimes I have to build in like I got to eat lunch some point, right? So
You're like 30-minute nap.
Yeah, or a nap. Yeah, I ought to put naps in there. It's a great idea. One of the things, though, and you actually said something pretty interesting, that you have you look like the day you have the least number of classes is when you do your volunteer stuff. At some point, I have to schedule no meetings on a certain day so I can just get stuff done. Thursdays are kind of like my day where I don't really schedule things, and now everyone's all, well, the only time they can meet is a Thursday, and so I'll put that in there. But if I don't, all I do is just meet, and I don't get things done. Mm-hmm. So you guys will figure that out. But so tell me about what's your favorite experience that doesn't have to do with your organization here at Texas State?
Oh, it has to be Sewell.
Sewell? Yeah. Okay.
It's got to be Sewell.
It's funny. I get to drive by there all the time on the way home from work or going somewhere, and it seems like this spring is supercharged there.
Oh, yeah.
And in February one day, it was 85 degrees. I went up. There must have been 4,000 people.
Oh, yeah. It gets to the point where people, you're laying your towel down right next to someone else.
Yeah, you're taking control of the spot, right?
Yeah, you're going to create a friendship with this person. You're so close to them.
Funny.
Yeah, it has been pretty packed. It's just so beautiful.
Yeah.
And, the river is the same temperature all year round, and it's absolutely gorgeous. We keep it clean. I think it's great that we get to enjoy it.
What about you? You can't say Sewell Park now.
Can't say Sewell Park. I think my favorite would either be new student orientation or welcome week. Just meeting new faces and finding new people. I'm really big on helping people find their clutter or their embarrassment. Just helping them find their people.
I promise you, look that up. It's embarrassment's a real thing.
I will. But yeah, just helping those people find their community. It's really big, and that's a big experience Texas State brings to me every single year.
The last couple of falls, we've done something called Jumpstart. So it's kind of like you're going to jump in the river at the end, but you got to jumpstart your freshman career, bring all the freshmen together outside of LBJ, have a big stage set up with a DJ. It was a lot of fun, and a lot of student organizations are up there. And it's I think for many students, it's the first time they kind of come together and go, okay, I'm in college now. And then like a couple days later, we did the class photo on the football field, and I think it kind of is a moment to kind of like make it real for people. Well, thank you guys for sharing a bit about what's going on in your lives and what's going on at Texas State. Thank you for serving as great role models and leaders of the young people in you have some, you're becoming a role model for people. You don't even realize it, but people are looking up to you. And that's what your career will be like, because when you leave here, you're going to start all over again. You'll be in a business and you're going to start at the bottom again. But over time, people will be looking up to you and depending on you as well. So thank you guys for sharing your story. I have under this pillow here a question. And Raven, I'm going to give it to you. I don't ever see the question. And so I have no idea what it's going to say. But this is a question that came from a listener. And it's for me, but you get to be like the podcast host there.
All right, this is a good question. I'm actually curious myself. What is your go-to midnight snack?
Oh, I'm terrible about this because I make terrible decisions after midnight, and I'm a night owl. So, like, Beth is like, she goes like, sometimes I look around, it's like she's gone to bed, and I'm watching Dateline Murder Mysteries and so on. And I'm always thinking like, what's going on today, and trying to get my social media posts done, and then I'll go, I'm kind of hungry right now, and so. To me, it's cereal, and
really,
and I'll start rummaging around. There's some Raisin Bran, but I like Honeycomb and Golden Crisp. When I was a kid, they used to call it Sugar Crisp, but I think they changed the Golden Crisp now. So it's terrible, kind of sugary breakfast cereal and a bowl of milk. This is terrible. I'm embarrassed by this, but I believe there's nothing better in the world than a sandwich that somebody else made for you. Like if you make a sandwich, it's okay, but if someone else makes one for you, it's like the best. And I like peanut butter sandwiches, but it's too late. That's not going to make one for me. And I discovered Uncrustables, and so it's super unhealthy, right? Have you ever had Uncrustables?
I love Uncrustables.
They're delicious.
So this is terrible. I did this last night. So I had some cinnamon toast crunch, or it was Apple Jacks. I had a bowl of Apple Jacks. But while I was there, I said, well, let me grab an Uncrustable here. So I had that kind of thawing out, ate my Apple Jacks, and then about an hour later, it was kind of thawed out. And so it's like 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm eating an Uncrustable watching Dateline Murder Mystery. So I'm embarrassed, but that's the story. What about you? Are you in bed already by midnight?
No, I am a night owl sometimes, especially if I'm stressed. I'm up late, but I don't know. I'm in college, so like I rummage through whatever I can find, whatever's there that I have. It's usually probably I'll rummage through the freezer and pray that there's like a half-eaten thing of ice cream, hopefully.
Did you say your dad sent you some brisket?
Yes, my parents are so lovely, and every time I leave home, they send me with like a big bag of just
stuff,
groceries and anything that they could pull out the pantry to give to me. So usually whatever's in there, I'll eat that.
Yeah, and you told me, so it was brisket and like a corn soft tortilla.
Yes.
Yeah, traditional. All right, very good. What about Kaison?
I'm a big cookie guy. Cookies and ice cream go hand in hand with me. Chocolate chip. Classic. Okay. Or Snickerdoodle.
Oh, Snickerdoodle. That's a classic too.
Very classic.
Well, thanks for sharing your late night snacks with me, and thank you all for joining us for The Current. It's a great opportunity for us to learn more of what's going on here at Texas State. I can't wait to have you back for the next episode. All right, stay safe, everyone.